to Kenzo Gaming. Today I wanted to show you another 4-on-4 game where we have 4 Denmark players, but unfortunately one of our guys had to leave and it was very hard to find a replacement. You can imagine it can be pretty hard to find another guy who wants to play Denmark, because almost no one wants to. So in this game we essentially have a 3 versus 2 because one of the players is disconnected. This map is manageable for a 2-on-2. Well, it is a 3-on-2, and I have to say that Joseph K, he did something really amazing. He dropped bombers at the right spot at the right time, even though he didn't see our units, and he killed a lot of units. So let's have a look from his point of view how it turned out to be. This bomber has then pretty much devastated all of my force. From my force of 80 soldiers, only 18 survived, and they had to walk by foot to the destination. My anti-air was also smashed up, and on top of that, the units of my ally have been also heavily damaged or killed. Okay, so here we have the illusion. This is the offender. So we're going to watch from the point of view of the illusion bomber. And he cannot see the units, he doesn't know where the units are. He's just predicting the destination. And you can see you can actually not see the train of units yet, but look, when it falls down, how it's gonna explode. See how many points he got? Killed a lot of units. Let's have a look how it looks like from the neutral point of view. So I have some units here which still survive, but they have to walk by foot. There's not many left. You can see there are a couple Hamlet guys and a couple Dragoner. Only 1 infantry survived out of 12 units of infantry which I have sent here. So let's have a look at this again from my perspective. Now you see the units advancing from my point of view. You can see I'm sending a command here, but it's gonna be bombed by the other illusion, so we don't have to look at that. You can see I have a lot of forces moving forward. So the bomber is already approaching. You can see I have my command there. And you can see it's approaching, dropping its volume and payload, and killing this command units, and now it's gonna kill a lot of these units too. Everything's destroyed. So this was very devastating for us. You can see the attack has been stopped here. However, we napalm this to prevent them from getting this position. At the same time, you can see the results coming forward here. As they have seen these Leos and Tau 2, they probably decided it's not gonna be a good idea to attack. But if they just sent 2 of these tanks forward, they would have actually destroyed them, maybe 4 tanks. They do have a sizable force, but they're focusing on attacking this area with their force. So I assume the target of the bomb run was not to weaken this side, but actually to weaken this side. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. In the meantime, I can see that they have already secured their position here. I really need to consolidate this area, but at the same time you can see they're launching a full-scale offensive here. Since we don't have much of what we can use against them, our only option are planes. So we send our planes and we hope for the best, but you can see the anti-air is very strong, very powerful. He has books there and Viruses. They took down all 3 of our planes. In the meantime, also the situation here is pretty grave, because we can see that there is a lot of Mi-24D I was initially assuming those could be recon forces, but judging by the behavior, it was clear that these are Spetsnaz group, and this would be obviously revealing this whole area. So after consolidating this area, I would have to also clean up this whole front. But you can see I have serious trouble against these guys. There's not much I can do against them, because all my hamlets which I brought were murdered here. First they have been bombed, they didn't have any transports, they had to walk by foot, and then they were engaged by the T-72. At the same time you can see a lot of seeds flying around. So we don't have much opportunity to use our hawks either. So obviously for me the priority is to send some infantry here to fortify at least something. And also the loss of the command was pretty serious, because right now we have 5 sectors, they have 5. Also that's actually good because we are still keeping this one. But as you can imagine, this is not a very good situation. At the same time, it can be said that this was very interesting because this had a lot of tug-of-war like playing. The fronts were moving back and forth. For example, before we lost this area and then we have retook it. Well, even though we didn't lose the whole city, but we lost part of it. They have moved all the way to here with their tanks and they had to retreat. Then here pretty much everything was destroyed except one single tank. And now finally units are going there to consolidate. And as you can see, the crew are also advancing here. So we can already see there are some units here. Obviously I want to defend, but there is only so much I can do against these kind of units. And I'm trying to help myself out these planes, but it's not very efficient because they simply have too much anti-air and it's all taking us down. You can see sending more and more bombers. Due to the large force which I lost at the beginning, I simply cannot keep up to defend this. And as Denmark, I really need vast superiority in numbers to be able actually to counter even their standard units. So now this is pretty much lost. They have taken over this area. You can see a lot of infantry coming here and other things. We can just see how horrible these hawks are. They fired 2 times, didn't kill a plane. These were 8 rockets, loved at them. Now we can see they're advancing. They're using a combination of motostrelki and Spetsnaz. This means they can take out heavily armed tanks, which we don't have, and also they are very good against infantry. So we can see the Spetsnaz are advancing here. I'm trying to retreat and hide my command. I turn off their weapons. And fortunately I get some reinforcements from Eddie. Otherwise this would be for sure lost. Now finally my reinforcements arrive and I decided to go for a push. After all, it seems like he has tossed everything at us. And you can really see that this whole game is very mobile. We can see a lot of attacks all the time attempts for push. I will try to consolidate this for another time. It's not that easy because even if we consolidate this can be bombs to smithereens. As you can see, we have now 8 hawks here. Unfortunately, I was not paying attention to these hawks. I was looking here and I didn't realize that actually these hawks had fired. So that's why I didn't move them very far away from this position. And that's also the reason why I'm going to lose them. In the meantime, I decided to test these horrible artillery. Since I don't have much money, I thought it would be a good idea to use them because I can afford much more of them. I have 12 in my deck. They have horrible accuracy, but they're pretty good at suppressing and also destroying other units. They actually manage to kill things, but I was usually using them in groups of 12. You can now see that I'm going to fire with 12 of them. Unfortunately, due to their poor accuracy, you have to shoot for a quite long time to destroy things. You can see how inaccurate they are. Oh, now we can see a lot of seed coming. Also a lot of planes. And even though we managed to take some down, have a look how many anti-air we have here. We have here hamlets, and then we also had here 8 hogs. They're all dead. In the meantime, we're trying to fortify here. But as you can see, they're always trying to flank us. It's very hard. If we had a normal deck, then it would be pretty easy because we would just send a heavy tank with anti-air, like let's say a chopper out, and this would be no problem. We could just place it everywhere and it would be clear. However, since we only have hawks and hamlets, then we're actually in a bad situation because hawks simply cannot fight against Mi-24, and the hamlets, well, they have to stick to their buildings because they're not able to outrange the helicopter. 100 meters is nothing. Now you can see there's pushing with some pretty heavy tanks. T-80 BV has 17 front armor and 18 AP power. You can see there's tossing their smirches, and actually they managed to kill 3 of my RTs. These RTs actually fairly horrible in terms of top armor, only 1 top armor. Very, very bad. In the meantime, there was an assault here. We didn't see it, but we almost lost this area. But fortunately, we managed to keep it in the end. But it really is a tug-of-war. Now you can see they're bombing my RT again. I failed to move them on time. So this is probably going to be the last time I'm using these artilleries. Maybe I'll try one more time. But it really seems like they have to fire for too long to destroy something. Just giving more opportunity for the enemy to counter-artillery us. Now this is interesting because these 2 smirches, they're so close to the recon, to the, we call them Spider-Man. They have a very similar name, this Spider-Man. Called Spider-Man, or we call them Spider-Man. So these guys come out, and then they start the smirch. So this was very fortunate that we managed to sneak a recon inside. Now you can see there's another assault. It really looks like they're going to keep it. Only due to this building being surrounded by these buildings, these units couldn't give proper support. And we could barely keep it. After we destroyed this merge, it was obvious they know that we are here. And they even have a recon here. So we have decided we just push this guy forward because he's not gonna live long. In the meantime, you can also notice there are also some little skirmishes here. So this guy has been killed, but at least we were able to uncover a fob. And we also moved the links forward just to see if there is something else. You can see there's some RT preparation here. I kept shooting there because I thought the command is there, but actually it was not. And now you can see they're preparing here for an assault. So we're shelling everything here. You can see they're already advancing. Let's make it a little slower. Oh, we cannot even see these units. First thing first, we have napalm the road to slow down the advance. You can see there is not much here to defend. The infantry has been killed already. Only a couple tanks, those. The only thing which can save us is our planes and these tall defenders. They turned out to be actually pretty decent, but only against units which will bring anti-air support, and only in large quantities. Since these are so expendable, I have decided to push forward, as there were some mortars pretty close. So I decided, well, let's try to kill them. Maybe it's gonna work out. Come on, try it again. You can see how inaccurate they are. Now I got one. I started shelling this area because there were some infantry sent there. This is a faint retreat. It just looks like a retreat, but actually I'm going for another attack because I was successful with one Vasilic here. And I'm able to kill a couple more actually. This was moderately successful attack. In the meantime, we can have a look at this area. They have brought in even more reinforcements. It's really hard to defend here. The problem is we have to stick around these kind of places like the houses and so on. We cannot go too far out because then we're just risking to get bombed, destroyed, or simply shot from a long distance by tanks. You can see, he managed to escape. Only when the planes have arrived, we were able to take it down. These 4 hamlets couldn't do anything. In fact, if you have 4 hamlets, the chance to shoot down a plane is extremely small. First of all, with only 3 high explosive power, you need to hit with all 4 missiles. Furthermore, the accuracy is only 35%, so if we assume that the plane flies right above you, so that you can actually manage to shoot it down, it's within the range of 1,800 meters, then the accuracy is still not even 35%, because even with 35%, if we assume that we're fighting against a moderately good plane which has, let's say, 50 ECM, then the chance to hit is a half. So let's assume it will be 40 ECM plane, so it will be accuracy will be about 20%. So the chance that all 4 will hit is very tiny. It's 0.2 to the power of 4. That's even less than 1% chance of shooting down a plane if you have 4 hamlets. So if you ever decide to use hamlets and that you want to shoot a plane down with them, then I recommend you use them in large quantities. For example, here you can see this block has 16. So if anything flies by, it should be shot down. you have much greater chances. The chance to shoot down a plane with 16 of them might be 50 to 75%. I didn't calculate that, but it seems like it. I'm going to speed up a little bit. You can see now there's some calm before the storm. So we can see there are also some small attempts trying to flank from the left side. And do you see this? 3 planes have been destroyed. Here, these hoaxes turned out to be actually pretty lucky. Those 3 planes were flying so close to each other that the explosion has killed all 3 of them. Now we're trying to clean up this kind of place because we want to try to flank ourselves. And this group came right after the first 2 because it was planning to be a trap. If you send a single alone plane, then very often they all send maybe a group to shoot down your planes. But if right after you have a massive force of planes, then they would be running into a trap, and then you can actually destroy the whole army. So I'm going to take over this area, and I'm already buying my helicopters for my Helo Rush. I like late game Helo Rushes because the numbers of units which you use are simply massive, and I like to fight with massive numbers. You can see we're attempting to go for a advance here. Even though this all gets bombed, we managed to shoot down both illusions, so that's a success. In the meantime, have a look at this. Just have a look how big this army is, which we have here. So we're going for an assault. There are not many helicopters which I can use. I have no anti-air helicopters in my Denmark deck. There are simply none. Next thing is the issue that I don't even have any machine guns. So if I meet any kind of helicopter, there is absolutely no way I can fight with them. The only machine guns I have are on my helicopters, which carry my command infantry. But obviously I'm not going to risk those. So I have only 3 types of helicopters, and I'll be showing you what types I have. First of all, we have the Tau Defender. You can see it has 4 Tau missiles. Then we have Scout Defender. It has just some unguided missiles. And then we have these. This command infantry. You can see that I have created lines. With this kind of formation, you have the advantage that if you push forward, if there's, for example, an anti-air here and an anti-air here, they will be targeted both at the same time, and they will be overwhelmed. It's much better than just moving them in blobs. So it will be nice if you just watch this from this point of view. Okay, and now we're advancing already. I'm sending a recon at the front, then a line of tow, followed by a line of those unguided missiles, and followed by another line of tow helicopters, which are then followed by command. And you can see there are also some shortcuts here in this area. They even have books and Tunguskas, but they're simply overwhelmed by the sheer number of helicopters. They have absolutely no chance to resist against this. You can see how many have been destroyed. 3 Tunguskas have been killed here. this first line of tow are being destroyed. But you can see they're also targeting and trying to kill it. But it doesn't matter, I don't have to worry about this area. So I continue keep pushing forward. Let's have a look how it continues to look like. You can see there are also a lot of planes being sent. It's all or nothing. The goal is to kill the enemy command, which we managed to do in this sector, and we're trying to go for the next command. In any case, we already have a foothold here, because we have spawned our tanks in the new sector. The command infantry and helicopter was very useful in this case. As you can see, they're resisting. I just send them forward just to see what I have here. They don't even bother using their books on the defenders. Oh, actually they did. That's a waste of missiles. So these are killed. They're just being pushed forward so they can distract these guys, so that these guys are not advancing. In the meantime, we're spawning a lot of army. First, some troops go here to clean this up. Then also some troops go here to make sure that this is already destroyed. Now, if they send any planes, we can shoot them down immediately. And now this is going to be a brutal attack. Let's make it neutral. You can see other forces which are advancing. You can see the kind of units they have. They have these kind of units, or we just have this kind of shit. You can even see the BMP-2s. They're also doing their job. Shoot, my dear friend, shoot, my dear friend. We're just trying to push here. We are pushing here by the sheer size of our troops. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was very, very difficult for us. And it really seemed like we were gonna lose it, especially at the beginning when we lost half our armies, well, more than half of our army. It was very exciting because it was always pushing for back and forth, so it was unclear how it's going to end. If you like this video, please comment, like it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.